Home with God, Chapter 15. Death is intriguing. It is exciting and intriguing and totally wonderful. I have been hearing for a very long time that my beliefs affect my life. I guess I just thought that just some sort of different rules applied after death. I'm a little surprised to hear that even after death, I'm creating my own reality. Then I'm glad we're having this conversation. Wait a minute. What does that say about my father? My father believed that nothing happens after death. Absolutely nothing. If you die in a place of certainty that there is no life after death, once you realize that you have died, you will move immediately into stage 2, which will be the experience that there is no life. How can I experience no life? You will experience nothing at all. There will simply be no experience. Things will still be going on, but you will not be able to perceive them. It will be exactly as it would be now if you were sleeping while things were going on around you. So is there no hope? My father died absolutely certain that there was nothing, no life of any kind, no experience whatsoever after death. So there's no hope for him. Again, when you die in that place, it is like falling asleep. In order to experience something else, you simply have to wake up. How can he wake up? The good news is that everybody wakes up. Just as in earthly life, you would not stay sleeping forever, so too will you not remain in oblivious slumber forever in the afterlife. That is not the plan. The soul will awaken through the ministrations of loved ones and angels. Then it will wonder where it is, why nothing is going on, what has happened. It will begin to put 2 and 2 together, and in that moment the soul will move into a conscious awareness of stage 2 of death. What will that be like? What did Dad experience? What he chose to then experience? Anything he wished to create? Anything at all? Absolutely. But if there is confusion, the experience could be a bit confusing. Sorts of a mishmash of quickly created scenarios that may or may not make sense. That doesn't sound very exciting. Don't worry. It's not a bad thing. It's just about getting reoriented. It's like quickly flipping through all the TV channels with a remote. There's nothing harmful going on, you just have to decide which channel you want to watch. If you start to feel a little overwhelmed and begin wishing that you had some help, you will immediately become aware of those loved ones and angels and spirits who have been hovering around you and ministering to you, waiting for you to notice they are there. In any event, you will soon settle on a picture from the thousands of pictures in your mind, and you will start creating from there. But now it is important for you to understand that none of the scenarios that I have just laid out for you have anything to do with ultimate reality. That is experienced in the 3rd stage. The scenarios I have just described are the first 2 stages. the earliest stages of your afterlife, after death experience. Okay, so in the first stage of death, what occurs is that I will realize that I am no longer my body. In the second stage of death, I will move through whatever I have imagined or decided will happen when I die. And in the third stage, would you describe that for me now? What will happen to me then? You will merge with the essence and begin to experience the ultimate reality at the core of your being. You mean God? You may recall the ultimate reality, anything that you wish. Some people call it the essence. Some people call it Allah. Some people call it the All. It does not matter what you call it, it is the same thing. What if that is exactly what I always thought would happen? What if what is exactly what you always thought would happen? What if what I always thought would happen immediately after my death was that I would be immersed in God? Wouldn't that then be experienced in the second stage of death? Your idea about that would be experienced in the second stage, yes. That is because in the second stage of death you are still operating from your mind. This would be as pleasant and as glorious an experience as you could make it in your imagination. But then, in the final stage of death, you would have the experience as it actually is, not as you have imagined that it would be. But you are right. You are catching on. If what you always believed would happen is that immediately upon dying you will be home with God, you will be. This is the world's highest hope, and it is true. My mother did not hope. She knew. My mother knew that she would be met by all of the angels and that she was returning home. And that is exactly what she experienced. Then she moved into the next stage of death, and her imagination turned into an even larger reality. She experienced the presence of God. You were there to greet her. I tell you, I am there to greet everyone. It is impossible to die without God. I will always be there. I will embrace you, comfort you, welcome you, and assure you that you are perfect just the way you are, and perfectly ready to enter into the kingdom of heaven. Then I will turn you back over to the souls of your loved ones and to the angels, who will guide you the rest of your way, leading you into the spiritual realm, or what you would call the real heaven, as opposed to your imagined one. And there you will do the work that you went there to do. I have to work in heaven? Do not worry, it will be like play. You will be playing in the gardens of the gods. It truly will be heaven. I use the word work in the sense of accomplishing what you set out to do. And what is it that I will set out to do in heaven? When we get to our exploration of the spiritual realm, we'll take a look at that. Yet know this now, You will not leave my presence until I have made and you have responded to the holy inquiry. The holy inquiry? Yes. But I would like to tell you about this later. This might be the most important part of our conversation, and I want to put some building blocks into place first. Okay, but now that's two things you said are pretty important that you postponed until later. Earlier you said you had an answer to a question that might really shock me. You said you wanted to lay the groundwork for it. Now you're telling me that you're going to reveal to me what the holy inquiry is, but only after you put some building blocks into place. So you really have me intrigued here. Well, death is intriguing. It is exciting and intriguing and totally wonderful. So if God was there to greet Mom, tell me, what did God look like? I mean, when I meet you, will I be able to recognize you? What do you want me to look like? I get to have you look like whatever I want you to look like. Yes. As in all things, you get to have whatever you choose. Yes, yes, and once more, yes. If you choose me to look like Moses, I will look like Moses. If you expect me to look like Jesus, I will look like Jesus. If you wish me to look like Muhammad, I will look like Muhammad. I will take any form that you expect or that will make you feel comfortable in my presence. What if I don't have any idea about how God looks? Then I will be a feeling. It will be the most wonderful feeling you ever had. It will feel as if you are immersed in a warm, bathing light, as if you are being embraced by love. Or you may feel as if you are being enveloped in a cocoon or suspended in a weightless, glowing container of absolute unconditional acceptance. You will experience the same feeling if I should first appear to you in some physical form. Ultimately, that form will melt into a feeling, and you will never again have a need to see me in any particular shape or form whatsoever. Yet now remember what I have said. It is impossible to die without God, but it is not impossible to think that you are. You may think anything that you wish in stage 2 of death. So the energy of my pure essence may surround you and you may choose to dismiss it. Downplay the experience. Call it an hallucination or disregard it altogether. I would never do that. Why would I do that? You have done it many times during your life. What makes you think you could not do it after your death? Because I would know better. When I'm dead, I would hope that I would know better. Besides, when I'm dead, you could make it clear to me that you are God, and that I am loved, and that this experience I'm having is you welcoming me home. Listen to me. Death is a moment of creation. There is an energy adjustment at the moment of what you call death that fine-tunes the energy with which you enter into that moment. producing a duplicating effect in the non-physical world that you have just entered, so that you may continue to have the experience you have been creating, even as you transition into another realm. The same process occurs at birth, only in reverse. When you are born, the energy that you have brought with you from the spiritual realm is transformed into matter by this process of energy attunement, producing a duplicating effect in the physical world you have just entered. Remember what I said earlier. Death is a doorway, and the energy with which you walk through that doorway determines what's on the other side. Now you may recreate something new at any moment you choose, just as you may in life. But you will find there, initially, what you expect to find there. If you do not believe in God and enter into death not believing in God, God will be there and you will not experience God any more than you do during your lifetime. You have to know that God is present in order to experience God being present. If you look at a flower and know that God is there, you will see God there. Otherwise, you will see nothing more than a flower. You may even see a weed. If you look into the eyes of another and know that God is there, you will see God there. Otherwise, you will see nothing more than another human being. You may even see a villain. If you look into your own eyes in a mirror and know that God is there, you will see God there. Otherwise, you will see nothing more than a person trying to figure out who's there. You may even see a person who does not have the answer to that question. You mean that God doesn't rescue me from my own unknowing? God is rescuing you every day from your own unknowing. Do you know this? I suppose. You do? Well, sometimes. It is the same immediately after death. Sometimes people know it, and sometimes people don't. And as you believe, so will it be done unto you. Boy, what a message. I was certainly expecting more than this. I was expecting you to tell me that God's presence in the afterlife would act as an override, obliterating all obstructing beliefs and filling the moment with absolute glory. God will fill the moment with absolute glory, for there is nothing more glorious than the act of pure creation, and God will allow you to create in the moment of your death whatever experience you wish. This is what happens in stage 2 of death. In stage 3, you will come to know a larger truth about you, and then you will remember again how to create it. For you are a part of the God that you are here talking about. Yet even if you continue to imagine that you are not, you may still create whatever experience you wish. And so now, understand this. Your earliest after-death experience is something that you are creating here and now, and that you will continue to create then and there, with your thought about it, and with your hope. Hope plays a role. remember what I told you before. If you so much as hope that someone will come to help you, you will be surrounded by loved ones and angels. If you so much as hope that you will meet Muhammad, Muhammad will guide you. If you so much as hope that Jesus will be there, Jesus will be there. Or Lord Krishna, or the Buddha, or just simply the essence of pure love. Hope plays a wonderful role in death and in life. They are the same, of course. Never give up hope. Never. Hope is a statement of your highest desire. It is the announcement of your grandest dream. Hope is thought made divine. Oh, what a wonderful statement. Hope is thought made divine. What a perfectly wonderful statement. Since you like that statement so much, here is that 100-word formula for all of life that I promised you. Oh yes, one of your delayed promises. Hope is the doorway to belief. Belief is the doorway to knowing. Knowing is the doorway to creation. And creation is the doorway to experience. Experience is the doorway to expression. Expression is the doorway to becoming. Becoming is the activity of all life and the only function of God. What you hope, you will eventually believe. What you believe, you will eventually know. What you know, you will eventually create. What you create, you will eventually experience. What you experience, you will eventually express. What you express, you will eventually become. This is the formula for all of life. It is as simple as that. I love when information about life is given to us so succinctly. What a gift. Poets like Robert Frost give us that gift, and songwriters and playwrights and authors and messengers and teachers. I love what another poet, Lysanne Mueller, put in a free verse poem entitled Hope. She says that hope is the motion that runs from the eyes to the tail of a dog. Isn't that great? Doesn't that just capture it? Here's an excerpt from her larger work. Hope is the motion that runs from the eyes to the tail of a dog. It is the mouth that inflates the lungs of the child that has just been born. It is the singular gift we cannot destroy in ourselves. The argument that refutes death, the genius that invents the future. All we know of God.